Let's talk about Cooper DeJean real fast. Guy tested like a freak coming off of a broken fibula. I mean, that's as impressive as it gets. At his pro day, it was the Cooper DeJean pro day. It's like 6 foot, 202 pounds. He's got 9-inch hands, 31 and 1/8-inch arms, 78-inch wingspan. He ran a 4.42, maybe a 4.45 40-yard dash, and he had a 38.5 vertical jump. They're talking about him moving to safety. Sorry, I don't see that. I see him being a corner. I see him starting as a corner. I mean, they tried to say the same thing about Riley Moss. It's the white corner thing, and I get it. Like, there's been 3 good white corners in NFL history, and none in a long, long time. But I can tell you, I've been told by people in the Steelers that hold offices at the Steelers facility in Southside that a year ago that Cooper DeJean is going to be a stud, that this dude is going to be a phenomenal cornerback in the NFL, and he's capable of taking it on, and he's got the attitude to take it on, and he's just able to do what he needs to do. I don't see him moving to safety. I see him being a guy that plays corner, and if it does work out, then you move to safety. But I think the only reason that people are looking at him as a project is because he's a white cornerback. And I could care less, because if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm looking at this dude as a guy who talks. He talks a lot of trash on the field to guys back, which I love. And is just like a hard-nosed corner with some speed and physicality who could do a lot of other things. I don't see him playing safety. I see him playing corner. Whether or not he falls to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think that's another question. We'll dive into that in a second here. You see him playing safety, you see him playing corner.
I would think he ends up playing corner. I mean, it's his natural position. And also, you look at what the Steelers have right now, and yeah, they have Dante Jackson, which is good. It's something they haven't had in the past, which is the speed on the outside. But I think that he's more of a bridge type of guy. And if you're looking for a young guy, I think Cooper DeJean on the other side of Joey Porter Jr., if you're looking at that going into the future with a couple of young guys like that, I think the Steelers would be in a good position in the secondary. So I would assume that he stays at the corner position. If he comes to the Steelers, if he goes to another team, it's all dependent upon, the situation, especially, and how that team views him. But I would think the Steelers view him as a cornerback.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think it depends on where you go, but in Pittsburgh, that's a corner, and he's going to stay. They just have too many safeties right now. I could see him playing nickel, but I don't see him moving back to safety. And I think the Steelers would love for him to play corner and be a physical corner. And here's what I want to talk about next. Size matters. We all know it, and it's important to remember it in times of need. I recently went to a small law firm in hopes of getting the compensation I felt I deserved. I didn't, and to this day, I still think about the money that I may have missed out on. I filled out mounds of paperwork, then waited around for what felt like forever, got phone call after phone call telling me what I did not do right in the process, and it was expensive. All to get underwhelming compensation and almost zero satisfaction. Fortunately, if you ever get seriously injured and want to file a claim, you don't have to go through the same hassle I did. Instead, you can make it way easier by finding out if you have a claim in just a few clicks on your phone and working with America's biggest injury law firm with a promise of being for the people. Here comes Morgan & Morgan, today's sponsor. Morgan & Morgan has over 1,000 attorneys working in all 50 states fighting to get their clients the money they deserve. In recent months, they've achieved verdicts for their clients, including one that is worth $26 million. That is 40 times the highest insurance offer. And they're absolutely free unless you win. I got lowballed. Don't make the same mistake I did. Fighting big companies takes a big firm. And with America's biggest injury law firm, you're ready to take on insurance companies of any size. Don't overthink it. You can start your claim in just a few clicks by following the link in our description or by going to www.forthepeople.com/allsteelers. It only takes a few minutes to find out if you have a case. And if you have, it might be worth millions. Like I get, it works out sometimes. It really does. Minkah Fitzpatrick's a prime example, moving from corner to safety and just becoming an absolute freak at doing so. And maybe that's what he does best because he's just naturally a ball hawk and he could go out there and he can make plays and he's better to just move around the field. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think if that turns out to be the case, then you have 2 phenomenal safeties. But I think if the Steelers drafted him, they would look at him to be an outside corner with maybe some versatility, but an outside guy. And I think that that's a move. Now, if he falls to the Steelers is another thing, and I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think there's any shot that he makes it to 20 after yesterday. If he did, I think the Steelers would go after him in a heartbeat. I'd put him over almost every prospect that could possibly be there at 20, realistically. You know, Quinion Mitchell's going ahead of him, but he's not making it to 20. Maybe Fayuga is going ahead of him, but I don't think he's making it to 20. I think if Cooper DeJean somehow falls, that would be nuts because I think that the Steelers love what he brings next. I think him and Joey Porter Jr. are a lot of the same. And I think that that's what the Steelers are looking for. Physical, punching the mouth corners who have the athleticism to kind of keep up. I see Cooper being that guy.